Good morning, my friends. It's Hammer. Today is Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. I, of course, am with Originator Success here with your daily mortgage rate update, the only place on the web where you guys can join me live each and every day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time as we talk about what's going on with interest rates, mortgage rates, rates pricing. If you're here live, say good morning. If you're watching on the replay, do me a favor. Just give me a hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. Whether you're here live or on the replay, don't forget to smash that like button, tag an LO friend, share us in a group. If you're here on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, click that thumbs up and the subscribe button. Make sure you leave a comment. All that stuff helps us. Let's go ahead and remember you can sign up for my free email lock advice, www.ratelockadvice.com. Get it to your inbox each and every weekday morning, absolutely free of charge. A little light the last couple of days because there's not much to talk about. But if you want, you can sign up for our text alerts, www.ratetextalerts.com. You can also sign up for reminders, hmmr.io/reminder. Last but not least, check us out at originatorssuccess.com. If you are investing in your business, if you're looking for something to help you to get more prominent, get out there, check us out. Austin will show you what we got going on, so go check it out. Let's say hi to the live folks this morning. Who do we got here this morning? Mr. Ron Siegel, what day is it today? Let me see if Mr. Siegel is there. He was the first one on this morning. Today is National Craft Distillery Day. All right, National Craft Distillery Day. Let's get a question of the day going out of that one. National Craft Distillery. So a craft distillery is different than a craft brewery. A brewery is beer. A cidery is cider. A distillery is the hard stuff. You're talking your vodkas. You're talking your bourbons, your whiskeys. So let me know, what is your favorite alcohol of choice, hard alcohol of choice? Do you drink? If you don't drink, let me know that too. Let me know in the comments. I'm kind of boring. I'm not big on whiskey. When I was 17, I had too much of it. You know what happens when that happens. And the smell has always been a little bit of an off to me. So as much as I love cigars, my wife is actually more of a bourbon drinker than I am. She likes her old fashions. Whereas I am more of a Tito's guy. Give me a Tito's and cranberry, or generally double Tito's and cranberry. That's my go-to. Allison's a gin girl. Allison, gin has always been a little off for me. So, but that's very cool. Michael loves a Jack and Coke kind of guy. That is very much the case. Ron Siegel, Tito Martini up with 3 blue cheese stuffed olives. I can get into that. It's a little dry for me with, I like the cranberry to kind of break it up. Michael said too much tequila earlier in life. No more. Exactly, dude. You get it. You know what I'm talking about. It's funny how your brain will hold on to that forever. You don't let that one go. So anyway, let's keep saying hi to the live folks we got here this morning. Then we'll get started with the good stuff here. Who else is here? Say good morning. Remember, let me know. We are talking about what is your favorite drink. Today is National Craft Distillery Day. What is your favorite distilled drink? We got Ashley Mulcahy with some Palomas, Mike Brown, Jim Beam, and Diet Coke. Not a connoisseur. I'm with you, sir. Mallory, also a Jack and Coke girl. Michael of so besides the tequila, you like the Jack and Coke? Yeah, that's right. You got that. So all right. Well, anyway, if you're here this morning, Mr. Jerry Miller, we're talking what is your drink of choice. Today is National Craft Distillery Day, and we're having fun with that. So while you guys do that, I'm going to get into all the other stuff. Let's take a look at the technicals. This morning, mortgage-backed securities given back yesterday's gains. They're down about 15 basis points to start the day. Let me zoom in on this if I can. Let me see if this will move for me here. Let me refresh it. So yesterday, we were testing this support resistance level, the ceiling of resistance that I warned you about. It was the green is the 100-day moving average here. And I told you that we probably see rate sheets cap out. Yesterday during the day, by the way, we did not see any real movement. Pricing came out right here around 10 a.m., right around 100.50. We closed the day right at 100.51, exactly the same. Yesterday was just a boring snooze fest of a day, as we anticipated, right? However, this morning, mortgage bonds are down 14 basis points. So where did that come from? You see this little cliff right here. It happened in overnight trading. So we ended the day yesterday around 100.51, but this morning we were at about 100.30. It was down about 20 basis points. Why did that generally happen? It happened right here. Inflation overseas. Global investors got another reminder of the perils of betting on a rapid decline in inflation on Wednesday as the UK's slowdown in price gains wasn't quite as fast as economists predicted. The small headline miss, a drop to 2.3 rather than the predicted 2.1, plus a stubbornly high services reading, sparked a pretty large market reaction. Again, this is overseas in the UK. That was felt most keenly in the UK, where investors have all but abandoned hopes of a June rate cut from the Bank of England, but it's spilled over into moves lower in U.S. Treasuries and German bonds, as well as European stocks. So again, what that meant was this morning we saw treasuries take a jump. They ended yesterday at 4.41. This morning they opened the day at 4.46. So we saw a jump in treasury yields. We saw mortgage-backed securities lose a little bit of ground. That's because there's so much tied to the global bond market these days. And again, everything that happened was happening overseas here with the UK. But nothing really to worry about. Rate sheets this morning going to be a little bit worse than yesterday. Not much at all. But I did say yesterday that we were in a position that you may want to lock some of those loans that we're closing in the near term because of the situation where we were pressing up against that technical support. And again, I'll show this to you here, and let me pull this and we'll get this side to side. I'll show you. We were pushing up against, see it right here. There you go. See right here, this little wick where mortgage-backed securities pushed above that green line, but then ended the day right at the green line again. So this technical resistance has been a big issue for us. Remember, we're looking for the pricing here on mortgage bond prices to go up. If they go up, that helps your pricing improve on your rate sheets. When they go down, that hurts your pricing on the rate sheet. So this is a cap. It's kind of like just putting a lid on your container. So I have a lid on up here. And if I were to splash the water up right now, the water would come out. But once you put the lid on there, well, the lid's going to keep the water in. That's what that lid does here on bonds. So this is just a small thing without anything else to really give any big movement on. Yesterday did bring a lot of Fed members out there chattering. Told you that wasn't going to be a big deal. They're basically just a chorus of higher for longer. The ones that have been pushing is we got Collins, Mester emphasized the need for more data to cut rates. Loretta Mester wants to see a few more months of inflation coming down, but I'm pretty sure I think Mester's not going to be around past July. I think she's looking to be replaced in July. I don't think that she's a speaker, a voting member, that Atlanta is a voting member this time either. What happens is at the Fed meetings, not all the Fed members vote. There's some that are always voting, and then there's some that alternate years. So we can let's see, Fed voting members 2024. So you've got your committee members should be here. Let's see. This should show us. So you've got your voting members and your alternates. So 2024, you look like someone like Collins. Collins is an alternate member. She doesn't get a vote. But when we look at Mester, she is actually a voting member here. So when we look at this article for, the Cleveland chief, Loretta Mester, said Tuesday she wants to see a few more months of inflation data. It looks like it's coming down before cutting rates. Again, I'm pretty sure Mester replaced. She's going to retire in June. So somebody else will be taking her place anyway. Not sure if they will have the same, dovish or hawkish stance. She's more of a hawk. So not sure if the new replacement will, if that'll change anything. But Boston Fed President Susan Collins, blah, 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 indicated she wants to see more evidence price pressures are moving towards the central bank's 2% target. But that's everything that we were used to seeing. Christopher Waller said separately on Tuesday that the bank could consider cutting rates later this year if there are several more months of good inflation data. That's all the same thing. So we've seen absolutely no move here with Fed futures. Everybody expecting to be exactly where it's been. Everything's the same. It's a quiet week. It's going to be a quiet week. So we are going to see some movement. Do we have to really worry about it? No. We've got support here with the 50-day moving average, this red line. I inadvertently called it the 200-day moving average in the past, but that's the purple one. The 50-day moving average, it's down to 100.16. we could lose ground in theory before getting support at that support level, but I'm not really too worried about it. I would still suggest locking anything closing in the near term, though. We could see another rebound tomorrow. It's possible. But as we get closer to later in the week, it becomes more likely that pricing gets conservative ahead of the holiday. Bonds will improve a little bit, but rate sheets may not, is generally what happens. Also, as we're going to Memorial Day. Also, today, you're going to have the Fed's FOMC meeting minutes. Very here. So it's meeting minutes this afternoon, but everybody really kind of knows what's going on with the Fed. So those meeting minutes not going to be a big deal. We're also going to see a 20-year Treasury auction. That is very unlikely to be a big deal either. So it should be a quiet day. Pricing, again, going to be a little bit worse than yesterday, but just a little. Rates aren't really moving anywhere. As far as reprice risk on the day is low. Once again, very unlikely to see much movement today that we have to worry about. And overall, the outlook remains very much the same. Rates are going to tread water. They've pulled back from last week's best levels. Kind of what we expected to see when you take a look here. Mortgage News Daily, the best level was 6.99. We're at 7.05-ish now, maybe a little bit worse this morning, 7.07, 7.08. Again, very minor movements. You're going to see it more in pricing than actual rate. There's little in the way of data this week. Rates may creep a bit higher before settling as we get into the end of the week. Is kind of what I think may happen. That's why I would still be locking anything closing the next couple of weeks. Anything is 15 days. When we get into June, we're going to set into the June Fed meeting on the 12th. We've got the CPI data, CPI dates. I think that comes out actually on the same day, on June 12th, but let's take a look for sure. That is June 12th. Yeah. So it is the exact same day. So we're going to get the CPI data and the Fed meeting on June 12th. So about 3 weeks from now, we're going to have some real, opportunity to see rates take that next improvement step, right? So we're going to have labor market data followed immediately, CPI and Fed meeting. Going to be a very, very busy time at the middle of June. That's why anything closing between now and then, you're not likely to see rates take much of a drop, but anything closing a month from now, we've got a really good shot at having at least a possibility to see things improve with that. So keep that going. Ron has so let's see what you guys have, throwing some in there. Ron Siegel said it's an election year. They will replace her with a dove. That's very possible. Yep, very possible. And you also knew that she was voting. Randy Tico, giddy up, sir. Good morning. Great to see you. Jerry Miller said Captain Morgan spiced rum with OJ and 7-Up. Okay. It's almost like a dirty screwdriver. Is what that sounds like to me. So Bobby Searson's a mojito gal. Bobby, I like mojitos too. I like flavored mojitos. I like strawberry or peach mojitos, when they kind of throw something sweet in there. But mojitos are very refreshing to me in the summertime as well. So today, as Ron pointed out for us, today was National Craft Distillery Day. So if you have not already, make sure that you tell us what is your drink of choice. Jerry Miller says it tastes like an orange creamsicle. I could see that. National Craft Distillery Day. We talked about craft brewery is beer, and cidery is what I like, ciders, right? And then you've got a distillery is distilled spirits, which is going to be your whiskeys, your bourbons, your gin, your vodka. So that's what a distillery. We used to have a really cool distillery down here in Maggie Valley. Unfortunately, COVID did it in, and the guy that owned it, his name is Dave. He's an awesome guy. It's very frustrating to see that our businesses were forced to close based on COVID policy. I'm not going to go down that road too much, but for those of you that still, want to argue with me, a lot of the stuff's been found false, and yet we, here we are today. And if we had just kind of left things alone and let it run its course, it would have done it a lot faster and a lot less damaging. And Big Pharma, I'm not a fan of Big Pharma, and you're not putting that shit in my system. And those of you that want to get jabbed and stuff, just do the research. I'm going to tell you, especially the number of boosters. And I say it because I care. I would never let my kids do that stuff. They did make the decision to get one initially when they lived in places where they were forced to, or in jobs they were forced to, which I think is totally disgusting. So anyway, enough about that topic. Let's go back to fun stuff. Tell me what kind of drink you like. Kombucha. Randy, kombucha is a big thing. That what do they call it? Fermented or hard kombucha is the thing here in Asheville, but I've never had it. Austin, Sierra, quality water. I know Austin's not a drinker. He's not a drinker. So, all right, my friends. Well, thanks for joining me tomorrow. We're not going to have much different to talk about, but hopefully I get to see you then. Remember, we do this for you each and every day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you want to thank me for doing it, invite a friend, share it with another originator. I'd love to get over 100 people a day watching live. And that would mean a lot to me. I think I should probably, we should do some promotion, but I would really use some that Lagavulin 16. I'm going to have to Google that because Tanner, I do not know Lagavulin 16. I do not know what that is. I am Googling that. That looks to be some kind of very cool liqueur here. It is, from Scotland, balanced dry assertive flavor with the sweetness sherry. Oh, it's a Scotch, obviously. This is right here. So you're a Scotch guy. Okay. So I get that was a Scotch. Yeah, Ron, please, dude, there's so many of those stories, and that's the thing that's disturbing. It really is. It really is. So anyway, the talking about the good stuff, the drinks. So but by the way, if talking about the hard stuff, here's I got the oxys for when I got damaged. They still give that stuff out like candy. So, all right. Anyway, y'all have a fantastic one. I'll see you tomorrow. Please join me then. Bye-bye.